Hey everybody, it's Al with CAD Cam Wizard. Today we're going to talk about converting some images, so let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing I want to start with is, what is this, Inkscape? A lot of times when you're talking to people about converting images, they talk about free solutions, and Inkscape has been around for a long time. And you can import an image. So I think you just go File, Import, right? And then you can import an image. And what we want to do is convert this image from pixels into lines or arcs so that we could then machine it, right? We could bring it into a CAD CAM system and be able to work with it. Sometimes you have SVG files. So other times you just have GIFs, PNGs, bitmaps, and things like that. So in Inkscape, which I'm not an expert with at all, I've been able to download it, install it, and load the image. It looks as if we have this trace image option, And from here, you're going to have some settings that you can use to adjust the image. And as we go in and out, you can see how the image changes. And if we go all the way down in the threshold, we kind of get a good profile for the outside shape, but we lose our letters. As we come in and we try to get our letters, you can see our outside shape is distorted, right? So if you're going to use Inkscape in order to convert images like this, you may need to take multiple steps in order to get there, I'm going to go ahead and apply this. At this point, I have, this boundary here, which then I'd be able to export and be able to use as a DXF or what have you. I think you just kind of bring it from here and you can do a file export. And then now we're able to adjust some settings and export this file. Let's see, we have a PNG, SVG, right, or a JPEG. So we can go from a PNG to an SVG, and then a lot of systems will let you work with that SVG file. But again, in order to get the text, we kind of run into some issues, right? All right, so let's look at another popular solution for image vectorization. This one's called VCarve Pro or Aspire. This one, once you get your job set up, you can come over here to import your bitmap, and then now that gets you your image on the project, right? And then from there, you can go in and use the trace function. And again, we're going to get a similar scenario where when we try to use this, we're either getting a clean outside shape or we kind of get clean letters, but we don't get both, So let's go ahead and preview this and apply, and this is what we're getting from VCarve, right? Some might say, well, it's the image, but you don't always get to choose the image, So for these letters here, really not usable for the project that we have, right? So VCarve Pro, Cut 2D, Cut 3D, Aspire. They have a couple of different levels of the software ranging from low cost to maybe about $2,000. And, is this doing the best job or not? You decide, right? All right, let's move on to another one. Another one we have is called Fusion. Okay, so Fusion is free for most or affordable for many. This is very powerful software. Like, right off the bat, if you're a hobbyist or just getting started with CAD CAM, this is going to blow your socks off. Parametric, assembly modeling, mesh, all kinds of things. For me, to really understand a lot of this functionality in Fusion, it took years and years to really get there. So, the fact that people can start with this level of product for free is amazing. Now, as far as I know, I don't believe there is a trace function. Maybe there is, but I'm not aware of it, of a trace function, right? So what does that mean? That means that after you load this image into the CAD, right? Okay, well, let me back up. How do you get this image in here? You can go to the canvas, and then from the canvas, you can get in here and be able to upload the file, place it on the screen, adjust its location. Once you get it in here, what are you going to do to trace it? Well, this is a manual tracing method, so you're going to kind of come through here and draw some lines or some arcs and work your way around this shape until you get the design that you want, and it's time consuming, but the end result is generally very accurate, and you get very clean geometry, and that's definitely important, especially if you're working with a machine. You don't want to give it a ton of little segments. That isn't always the best, and this method is going to do really well, but there is no automation to it, or as far as I'm aware, there's no way to kind of speed that up. The next one that I'm going to look at is actually from a 3D printer, and I was pretty amazed at this, that I could bring in the image and it would generate a 3D version automatically. Now, is this what I want? Is this usable? Jury's out on that one. But it did take an image, a PNG, and converted it into a 3D model just by opening it, So that was pretty exciting, but that's not going to give us the 2D profiles we would need in order to profile, pocket, create a light box, things like that, okay? So the next one that I would look at would be the Bobcat software, but I actually don't have that open at this time. And that's going to offer similar functionality where you're going to have to trace it. And really the takeaway here is to convert images. It's a combination of auto vectorization and manual tracing. So if you want to learn more about image tracing, just give me a call, 727-479-6328. To find out more ways we can help, visit cadcamwizard.com. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.